Hello everybody, it's Tom. I'm back with another video. It's a very cold and snowy day here in England. Don't get it very much, but when we do, the whole country grinds to a halt. Oh, and do you know something else that has ground the country to a halt? It's our topic today, because we're not doing GeoGuessr today, we're doing geopolitics. And you can probably tell from what you're seeing, I'm going to be talking about Brexit. Brexit is something which I passionately was and remain against. I think it's stupid. I think we're putting economic and trade sanctions on ourselves. Usually, you'd have to lose a war or misbehave in the eyes of the international community. Like Iran with their nuclear deal. Let's not even don't even get started on North Korea. But not content with our lovely advantageous place in the European Union, we've decided to completely wreck our position in the world. And that's what we're going to be talking about, because when you wreck your position in the world, what does that actually look like? Let's take a little look, shall we? This is a Reuters story. It's from, yesterday. Exports from the EU, exports from UK to EU down 68% since Brexit trade deal, say hauliers. Because, they'd know. The exports from Britain to the European Union fell by 68% in January as trade was disrupted after the end of a transition period following Britain's departure from the European Union, according to a trade body representing hauliers. The government did not confirm the data. In a way, you can't really blame them, can you? And said disruption at the border had been minimal following since Britain completed its journey out of the EU's orbit at the end of 2020. This is absolutely bonkers. Something which we haven't even covered yet is the fact we're still in the grip of a pandemic. So we've gone and cut ourselves off at the knees in terms of trade during a pandemic. It's utterly crazy. It really is crazy. Now remember, Brexit was going to. Do you remember all the red tape that Brexit was going to cut? Because the EU just produces so much red tape, and we really don't need it. Well, some businesses have struggled with new customs declarations and health certificates as the coronavirus pandemic also hits firms. Don't know about you, but that sounds a little bit like red tape. But then again, that's sort of the big national. That's the big national level. What about at a company level or regional level? Well, here's a tweet I saw. Sad news as Brexit causes Baron Shellfish of Bridlington to close its doors after 40 years of exporting lobsters and crabs to the EU. We actually have a proper story here, which I was obviously just reading. So basically, here's the sad tale. Owner of first lobster tank business in Europe's largest shellfish port forced to close due to Brexit restraints. Baron Shellfish, based in Bridlington, East Yorkshire, is to close its doors after 40 years of exporting lobsters and crabs to the EU. 40 years. Do you know how long we were in the EU for? Oh yeah, it was about 40 years. This is a company who owes its existence. It came into being because of the EU, it was sustained because of the EU, and now it's destroyed because we've needlessly taken ourselves out of the single market and customs union. As a schoolboy, Sam Barron worked alongside his father to set up the first lobster tank business from scratch. Over the years, the business grew alongside Bridlington Harbour, which became the biggest shellfish port in the UK. So, I mean, this is a really sad story. And do you know what the worst about it is? It just didn't need to happen. And you've got people who will say that voting to put the Baron business out of business was patriotic. What the hell is so patriotic about putting your own countrymen in the dole queue? Unbelievable. It is now with deep sadness in my heart I write to inform you that I've had to let my business head over all my heart and bring Baron Shellfish Limited to closure. Obviously, that we're talking jobs, we're talking money flowing around the town as a result. European money coming to Bridlington and being spent in Bridlington. No, don't want that. Don't want your foreign money round here, lad. So it's just, and as I say, the whole thing is just completely needless and just avoidable. Very sad. But also the thing is, and people say, oh yeah, well, fishing, what is it, 1% of the UK economy? Yeah, okay, so, but I'll tell you what, may only be 1% of the UK economy, but it's 100% of people's individual economies who work in it or used to. I live in a shellfish place, shellfish town. You know, it's been on the decline. This is just speeding it up to terminal velocity. But even more seriously than the loss of an entire industry and the collateral damage in terms of people's lives left on the side of it, we've actually got a far bigger problem with Brexit. And for that, we have to go over to Ireland, because and this will be as no surprise to anyone, but of course Brexit threatens peace on the island of Ireland. This is a story from The Economist a couple of days ago. At a fancy Brussels dinner of EU leaders in 2018, Ireland's then Taoiseach used a prop to convey the deadly seriousness attached to the Irish border. Holding up a copy of the Irish Times from 1972, Leo Varadkar pointed to its front page, which recorded how an IRA bomb at a border customs post in Newry killed 9 people. And here's the thing. When Britain, the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, it was based on the Republic of Ireland and the UK's common membership of the EU, a common economic and customs area. Perfect, no need for a border. But because we've decided to needlessly throw these arrangements away, leave the customs union and the single market, you create the need for a border. And what do you get at borders? You get people. What type of people? Officials. And who is it that's usually on the end, or sorry, not usually, but often on the end of sectarian violence? It is officials, just like in 1972. Now, the thing is, anyone watching this will probably think, well, yeah, Tom, we know this. We always knew that this is going to cause enormous problems. Okay, but I'm afraid that some people, they're either ignorant or they're liars. I don't really care. They're both as bad as each other. And frankly, there are people that should know an awful lot better about the situation in Ireland. They just should. And I don't know, someone like, oh God, who could I pick? Former head of the army, maybe? Oh yeah, this guy, Lord Dannatt. God, he's in Norfolk. Anyway, listen to this. He's asked about, this is actually from February 2019, right? But even back then, I remember this. I remember screaming at the TV. So let's hear his take on the Northern Ireland border.
Of Northern Ireland. So whatever happens, we must make sure that we don't provide conditions again whereby Northern Ireland can regress to a position akin to the troubles which went on for such
leave the single market and customs union.
This whole business of a hard border, there must not be a hard border. I'm afraid I'm one of those that believes that with imagination and determination, there are ways that can be produced, which means that we can continue to trade between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
As I say, he's either ignorant or he's lying. I don't really care which one it is, because they produce the same result. Anyone with half a brain up there knows that no amount of imagination in the world was going to sort out the problem of 2 customs areas sharing a land border. I don't know, this is magical thinking. Now, it's either because he's stupid. He is the former head of the army. It does seem unlikely that he's stupid. So is he lying? That's obviously for everyone to make their mind up. Stupid or lying? Answers on a postcard. Now, the thing is, that's in February 2019. In the autumn of 2018, Theresa May was at the dispatch box explaining her idea of a solution. Now, at least she actually seemed to get it. Let's have a listen.
As I set out last week, the original backstop proposal from the EU was one we could not accept, as it would mean creating a customs border down the Irish Sea,
which we now have,
breaking up the integrity of our United Kingdom,
which we have done.
I do not believe that any UK Prime Minister could ever accept this, and I certainly will.
You obviously didn't predict the sack of shit that was going to succeed you, did you?
Speech, We chose to leave. We have a responsibility to help find a solution.
That's exactly right. I do agree with her. You know, we chose to leave. We have to find the solutions. The EU have been saying that. The EU haven't been saying you can't leave, like some Brexiteers like to. You know, it's like a little fantasy for them. Oh, they're telling us what to do, and we're the plucky Brits. I mean, it's so stupid. But anyway, so Theresa May laying it out in Parliament. Okay, what's going on? Okay, fast forward 2.5 years, and we get. Actually, this guy's interesting. Let's just go straight to it. This is John Penrose. If you haven't heard his name, or you have heard his name but wondering where, he's actually married to Dido Harding. Yeah. Anyway, this is his take, because we've got problems in Northern Ireland at the moment. In fact, going back to the issue of peace on Northern Ireland. You know, there are problems, and there have already been issues. There have been graffiti, there's been threats, port workers were stood down for a period of time. But anyway, this is John Penrose. He's a Tory MP. Of course he's a Tory. He's talking rubbish. But, well, say he's talking rubbish. See if you can actually understand anything that he's trying to get across.
And as the Prime Minister said, not acceptable. That's not the way it's supposed to be working. And I think Michael Gove said earlier on today, there's been real damage done, and there are real problems to solve. Now, the important thing is,
we've caused the damage.
I completely agree with Ian. We don't want to have another 34 days like that, but
we need to get back in the customs union.
There is time to fix this, but fix it we must. We mustn't just say, let's all keep calm and use that as an excuse to do nothing.
So fix it, because you heard the comments in the piece there. This is the inevitable consequence of Boris's Brexit deal.
Yes.
So
when you say fix it, do you mean break the protocol as it stands? Do you mean get rid of it? What does that actually mean?
No, I would fundamentally disagree with the analysis in the piece that you were quoting there about it being an inevitable consequence. What we've got are some serious problems, but there are...
This guy doesn't understand. This is the inevitable consequence because we have left the customs union and the single market. This guy, again, we come back to the question, is it ignorance or lying? Anyway, where does all this take us? Has the government listened to Mr. Penrose here and are going to try to take a more constructive approach to solving Northern Ireland, or solving what, in my opinion, is the unsolvable? Okay, are they going to take Mr. Penrose's, sort of spirit of cooperation and try to take that through? Well, this I noticed. Let's have a listen to this clip here. This is talking about the Northern Ireland issue.
But this engagement with the EU, the clock is ticking. I cannot overemphasise how important it is to start that dialogue now, because as Jimmy rightly says, freight volumes are going to start increasing. We've got April coming at us as another potential car crash where import controls will start on EU products coming into the UK, when we will see potentially some of the grace periods in Northern Ireland starting to go. And we also have a suite of other products that might fall under official controls. The mood music I pick up from government officials is that there is a reluctance to engage with the EU now until April. In other words, they need to feel some of the pain that we are feeling before they'll come to the table.
That's the solution. Let's try to cause them pain, to try to get them to break their own and World Trade Organization rules about trading across borders. That's the solution. And that's really where I'm actually going to sort of bring this to a bit of a close, really, because this is the problem with not only with Brexit but Brexiters. Brexiters refuse to take responsibility for anything. Nothing is ever Brexit's fault. It can't be. How could you even suggest such a thing? But actions have consequences. Leaving the single market and the customs union is causing trade to choke off to less than 1/3 of its previous levels, and it's causing issues of peace in Northern Ireland, and all the government wants to do is try to cause the EU pain. And I think it must come from this deep-seated belief in our own, and when I say our, I mean Britain, Britain's exceptionalism. It's the fact that we can do things that other countries cannot. And I do think in a lot of people that they want, you know, because one of the things you hear from Brexiters is, you know, oh, they're going about the war. They're still fighting the war. This is the problem. And they want the same Blitz experience. This is perverse, but they want the same Blitz experience as their grandparents would have had. But trouble is, there wasn't any wars. We can't have it. So they've gone and created one all for themselves. So I really will just finish on to say, you know, just thinking about that last clip. Basically, Brexit's only solution to anything is to smash it up. Whatever the problem or whatever the thing, smash it up and then take delight in the unhappiness it causes in others. Yet we also hear them say, come on, we all need to pull together. We need to get through this and march on as one. I don't think so. Not with people like that. Anyway, I've been Tom. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll get back to lighter stuff another time. Or maybe I'll keep getting angry about things and putting these types of videos on here as well. But for now, toodles.